This pie is an open-faced pie. It's going to have a custard filling, so it's going to be necessary to pre-bake this pie shell. One method is to add pie weights. I could use parchment paper and add some pie weights. I have beans here and fill it up. Make sure it's enough so that the walls of your pie shell will not come down. Okay. We are not going to do that method. We are going to do a different method. In either case, something that I did not mention, and that is to dock your dough. And docking the dough is going to prevent blistering. Blistering means that the steam, the moisture content in the dough, along with the heat of the oven, is going to produce steam, which is going to force the bottom of this pie shell up, so it will blister in pockets. So docking it will prevent that. So just prick it with a fork. So now I'm going to put a barrier, create a little barrier. So I have some parchment paper here, but I don't need so much. Open it up, place it at the bottom, and I'm going to place another pie tin inside right on top. All right? And now I'm going to turn it over onto a parchment lined, or I have a Silpat lined sheet pan here. And now it's going to go into the oven. I'm going to give it, I'm going to try about a 12-minute baking time. Then I will flip it over and remove my pie tin and parchment paper and continue the baking. Gravity is going to keep the sides of my pie dough in place. Okay? While my pie dough is pre-baking, I can go ahead and prepare my filling. I'm preparing a quiche, so I'm going to prepare a custard using 1 cup of half and half, or you may elect to use a portion of milk and heavy cream. And there are also alternatives that you could use: soy milk, oat milk, rice milk. That would be up to you. I'm adding 2 eggs, and I will whisk those together. Quiche is such a easy and fun lunch or brunch or dinner item to make. I'm going to season this with a little bit of salt and also some fresh cracked black pepper. You can add a little pinch of nutmeg, which is classic. I'm going to leave it out today. I've already prepped some items. Actually, I didn't have to do any prep because this is leftovers. So I had some grilled chicken that I sliced. I had some broccoli and yellow squash, sauteed some onions. So I cooked them all because I wanted to enhance the flavor. Don't overcook them, but maybe a quick saute, or even if you have some roasted vegetables would be nice. I have some sun-dried tomatoes that actually I prepared and made and had jarred already in the refrigerator. I have some Italian leaf parsley, and I also have some fresh basil, fresh out of my garden. So now all I have to do is wait for my shell to be done. I also grated some cheese. I have some Gruyere cheese, which is classic also to a quiche. You can use any number of cheeses. I'd probably stay away from mozzarella unless it's a fresh mozzarella, and a burrata maybe would be nice. Goat cheese, manchego, which is one of my favorites. But I'm going to stick to the classic today. So my 12 minutes of time is up. I'm going to now check my pie dough and remove this top layer. Just very quickly turn it over. Make sure you have an oven mitt in your hand because it's hot. remove the lid, remove the parchment paper, and I could see that the baking process started and my pie shell is set. So now I don't have any problems with it shrinking down the sides of the pan. Now it's going to go into back into the oven to continue the baking. So after another 10 to 12 minutes of baking, I could see that most of the rawness is gone, and I can now put my filling in, and this will continue to bake. So I have my my eggs, my other ingredients. I'm going to first put my filling in. Break that up into bite-sized pieces so that it's manageable for your guests to enjoy. And then I have some vegetables, my broccoli, my red onion, and crookneck or yellow squash. Make sure the ingredients are also kind of evenly distributed in there so everybody gets the chance to enjoy these delicious ingredients. And I have some sun-dried tomatoes. And I'm going to put a little of my, no, I'll put some of my herbs. I have the Italian leaf parsley along with some fresh basil. And it looks scrumptious already. And then I'm going to now put in my filling. Slowly, so it does not overflow all the way to the top. And now I will go ahead and put some cheese in. You could also layer cheese inside. I love cheese, but I just don't like a lot of it in my baked stuff. Yes, that is also macaroni and cheese, true. I just don't like a lot of cheese that way, but I love cheese. Alrighty, and that is going to go back into the oven for baking. I'm going to give it about 20 to 25 minutes or so, and we will check it. I like to see a little bit of browning on top. Some people like them a little bit more blonde colored. All right, let's see. My quiche is fresh out of the oven. It's got some nice browning. The crust is cooked. There's no movement with the custard. Any custard cooks to 185 degrees Fahrenheit. Beyond that, it will begin to break and curdle, and that will not be appealing. It'll be very watery inside, and that's not something you would like to have. While it's nice and warm, allow your quiche to sit for a bit. I would suggest maybe 10 or 15 minutes before you cut into it. It's wonderful even after a few hours. If you wanted to serve it for dinner, you could simply allow it to sit or even put it in the refrigerator and then rewarm it. It's such a great dish because it's just complete. So we have something that's open-faced and a custard-filled pie that also happens to be savory. And here we have a cooked juice method fruit-filled pie with a top, and our top is happens to be a lattice top. So same dough with two completely wonderful pies. And that's all.